Hey there, Bob from Oregon's Constant Gardener. Welcome to the OCGFAM show to you, my YouTube buddies. And speaking of YouTube buddies, I was down in Jacksonville, Oregon this weekend with the missus watching, went to see Chicago. Very exciting. And someone from a viewer of the show, member of the OCGFAM, came up to me and said, hey, and I just wanted to say how much I appreciated that. I thought that was really cool. Anyway, let's get on with the show. So, we talk a lot on the show of problems. When you're having an issue, something's going on, how do you deal with that? How do you fix it? But what do you do when everything's going good? When everything's going perfect? You got your alkalinity right, you got your feeding right, you're just killing it, but your plant takes to that and is just growing so fast that it's eating everything you put into it. So, spoiler alert, it's one shot. But Scott had a really good answer about that, and I thought it was interesting, and I thought you might find it helpful, so I'd like you to watch the clip. I'll talk to you after.
What I'm seeing right now from a few people that have just perfect alkalinity water, high intensity LED lights, is no matter what, they're putting like 12, 15, 1600 parts per million in, and they're ending up with 150 to 200 a day or two after in the soil, which is telling me that plant is so efficient, it is eating every bit of what you're giving it, and now you're just going to be trying to keep up the whole time. At that point, that's when I think one shot becomes like the best friend, because you can build up that medium, build up a little reserve, get some of those parts per million, so every time you test it, it's not at 100. It gives that plant something to access in between those 1600 parts per million feedings, and will also allow you to do a lot of people that are always feeding to keep ahead of their parts per million in their soil, they never get a beneficial flush out of that, or a preventative flush.
They can't ever get to flushing.
So they're always feed, and then they run into a problem because all of a sudden something just stops, the pH drops, or the lockout happens. Now they have to go to flushing, but the plants are still starving. So it's, when I see customers that are continuously coming back with the same parts per million because their plants are too efficient, that's when I highly recommend just like front loading them with one shot and then reducing your bottle feeds by at least 15-20% as far as consistent or repetition. Keep your same recipe because obviously they like it, they've been eating it all, but by putting a little one shot reserve in there, it prevents you from having to feed 6 days a week because you don't have to keep them alive by feeding them every day. Where if you have one shot in the soil, it's keeping them alive. You can go feed, feed, flush. And the plants are going to be way more happy because they have that reserve, so they're not always depleting themselves in the root zone.
Okay, what do you think? Informative, entertaining, helpful? Let me know in the comments. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. It's the OCGFAM show.